So, officially, let me welcome everybody for being here. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to, this is my 5th year, so it's my 5-year anniversary. And we entrepreneurs know if you make it to the 5-year realm, you have really gotten to the point where it's like, yes, you should be good at what you're doing, you should be prepared to do what you're doing, and just know that after you do anything for 5 years, especially in your business, if it survives, you've done a lot. So I'm patting myself on the back. And besides, this is my second go around for that. So thank you guys so much for being here, the graduates, my daughter, my family, my friends, my speakers, everyone. And I am going to say, if I get a little emotional tonight, it's because so much has happened to make this night happen. The graduates have gone through enormous, have gone through enormous obstacles to come to each class. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Right now, I want to bring up a beautiful lady that is going to bless this place tonight with her presence. With everything that I do, I always ask God to guide me to people. I don't pre-plan anybody or anything else. When He calls it in my spirit to have someone do what they do, I definitely oblige, and I'm like, I have to have her bless this place because her daughter is also the speaker, and because she's just a beautiful lady. She's a pastor of her church. I didn't even ask you for bio. I just know that she's just going to bless this place tonight, and you guys welcome here Ms. Denise Dillard.
Thank you for that. It's such an honor to be asked to pray. Just get ready and just be liberal. Father, we just come to you in the name of Jesus. Lord, we thank you for the success of this group. We thank you for the success of this program. Lord, you think that anything that we put our hands to do, it shall work, it will work. And Lord, we thank you for taking us to our highest dreams, our highest priorities, Father. And we thank you that everything we do will be backed by the Spirit of God. And we thank you for this time of getting to know each other. We thank you for this time of sharing. We thank you for this time of uplifting. And we thank you that everything is done in excellence like it already is. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you guys so much. You guys have programs in front of you. Thank you, Ms. Denise. I really needed that to bring this place and the spirit in here, and I can really start feeling it. So you guys have a program in front of you, and we're pretty much going to follow that. The welcome, the ordering of dinner. So as you see people come in, they will be choosing their dinners, and the meals will be served as they come in. It's not a formal thing that we have to eat at the same time. So please just order and enjoy your food. Thank you so much for the prayer, Ms. Denise Dillard. I hadn't even introduced myself for those that may not know me, but my name is Beverly Brown. I'm the DreamSteerer, and I'm also the founder of DreamSteerer Academy. And I want to give you guys a little background on what DreamSteerer Academy is. Guys, y'all know I'm a walker. Can I take this off? They don't like me to walk. Put it closer. Thank you. And also, since this is the first time I'm doing it on Zoom, I have to realize I'm talking to an audience and to my Zoom people, so welcome you guys for being here. This is a miracle that this is happening today. But as a DreamSteerer, I always teach everyone that we don't make excuses, we just make adjustments for everything we do. And I'm going to tell you how this miracle happened, because I just said I was going to do this and had no clue how I was going to do this. But I'm going to go back to the history of DreamSteerer Academy and how it got started. First of all, I am a New Orleans person, born and raised in a little town outside of New Orleans. It's called Narco. Been there all my life, and I did a little traveling in corporate America. Did that for quite a few years after I finished 4 years of college. And after I finished 4 years of college, started working on a job. Actually, it was the first time, if you want to know how really old I am, it was when cell phones first started that I was working for the original cell phone company. And I used to be an account executive that would go out to various stores to actually sell the phones. I think it was Sprint at the time, or some other company even before Sprint. So the thing is, I used to go out to those companies and talk about the product for the phone, but I would go to a store and I'm like, your display isn't right, your battery isn't right, or something. I would go in and I would start fixing their store. I'd hurry up and do my job, and then I would start saying, okay, you need to do this, this, and this. So this is when that kind of first started formulating in my mind that I just loved helping people that had a goal, dream, or vision, especially they were the mom and pop stores. The other executives would get stores like Circuit City, the big ones, but I would get the neighborhood stores, the stores that really needed the help, that said that they had a vision of what it is that they wanted to do, and each time I would go into it, I would just try to find a way to make their stores better. So fast forward from that, after working corporate America quite a few years, doing a lot of traveling, moved to Philadelphia, dragged my poor daughter there, and that's where she actually graduated, in Philadelphia. She don't want me to call her up, so I'm not going to. But that's where I first moved away from home, from New Orleans, starting my corporate career. And then when I moved back, my mom was sick, and she was actually dying. So when I moved back home, it was mainly to just be there for her, and eventually she did pass of Parkinson's disease at a very, very young age. She was 60, but she had become, how do you say, a baby all over again with the disease. And she was one of the strongest women I have ever known, of course, in my life, because she also ran the neighborhood. She was like the mayor of New Orleans, of Narco, and anybody that wanted anything, they knew that they could come with her. And I have to back up and say that my mother also had 10 children. And I'm number 7 of 10. And she actually was a single mother up until the 10th child. So that was amazing in itself, that she was able to be a mother to 9 children until she finally got married with the 10th child. So we had a very, very loving family. We had everything going, and all we knew was happiness and love at that particular time. So fast forwarding through corporate America, how DreamSteerers Academy got started. Like I said, I would go out to other stores and talk to them about their products or talk to them about their services. And then something just, a book that I read is called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. So that was a book that changed my life. It's called The Dream Giver, and I read it, and it just, you know, there's always one book or one something that changes your life. Well, the Dream Giver book changed mine. So once I read that book, that's when I found out that I really did have a dream. But what I also found out is that you have to face obstacles in order to fulfill those dreams. And you can't go around them, you can't go above them, you can't go under them. You have to go through the obstacles. So I first birthed myself after I left New Orleans, which was during the time of Katrina. On that particular day, I always tell everybody, I was in a storm on the day the storm arrived. God had already brought me to a place where I had lost my home, or I was in the process of losing my home. Had lost my car. All of that was to say, because I started living my dream by helping others become a consultant. But what do you do with your passion if somebody can't pay you? You don't turn them down. And that's how it usually starts. And so I was doing it out of passion, doing everything, but the next thing I know is like cars getting repossessed. They want the house. All of this was transpiring, and this was the day before Katrina that I sat on the sidewalk, and I just looked up to God and I said, Lord, what is it that you would have me to do? There's a storm coming. My daughter had moved to San Diego at the time. She's calling, trying to find out what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, and I'm literally just, I have no clue what it is that I'm going to do on that particular day before the storm. So I was forced to move out of the house. I had sold a lot of my possessions. The car was gone. I had to go borrow somebody else's truck to move the rest of my possessions that I hadn't sold at a garage sale from everybody coming in. And they moved those things to a storage unit. Then my sister, bless her soul, who is now passed, called me to come to her house to leave, because we usually leave for a storm. So she has a Nova. She also has 3 other kids and 3 grandkids and me, and how are we going to fit into a Nova was just not going to happen that particular day. So I'm sitting there again like, Lord, what am I supposed to do? She can't decide what she wants to do. So another brother calls me and he says, come to my house, which was further away. So I ended up riding the storm there. And just to make a long story short for that, after the storm had subsided, I ended up making a move, going to Cleveland, Ohio. I went unwillingly. Cleveland, Ohio is cold. Why are you sending me to Cleveland, Ohio, Lord? One of the places that I had never envisioned myself being was in Cleveland, Ohio. But it turned out to be the blessing of my life, and it's like when I restarted myself as the DreamSteerer, I launched myself as the DreamSteerer. People came out to my event to launch myself to a name that they'd never heard of, to a concept they'd never heard of, and I was launched. And what I thought was going to be 3 weeks in Ohio turned out to be 8 years that I spent there, and I ended up amassing a family as big as my family back home. And it was just God moving me to a place where I needed to be separate and do the things that I needed to do for myself. So after launching myself, again, I should say for the first time, it was beautiful. I did it in 2011, and then cancer struck for the first time. Cancer struck me, but right before me, it struck my other sister first, who eventually died of it. And then I ended up living, and I still think about that part. It's like, well, it could have been either of us. So that's something I'm always thinking about. So God spared me with cancer the first time in 2011 after I'd launched. And then after that was over with, I started doing my TV show. I started the academy in Ohio. For the first time, people had never heard of that, but they came out and I graduated 3 students in Ohio to a program they'd never heard of, and that was beautiful. And then cancer struck again in 2013. So it was kind of like my awakening moment at that time, and I had more severe surgery done, and that's when God told me that it led me to come here to be with my daughter and my grandkids, because on top of that, I had my daughter at the age of 15, and I never thought that I had given her everything that I needed to give her at the age of 15. I was a child, raising a child, so I always felt incomplete that I did not fulfill all the things that I needed to do with her. So he led me back here to mend physically, mentally, but more so spiritually, to mend those things that I needed to heal inside of me with my daughter. So it's a beautiful thing, and I have 3 wonderful grandkids. The 4th grandkid we lost at the age of 5. His name was Trent Darby. And I have three gorgeous grandkids here now. They're 23. Taylor, give me the ages right, Tasha. Traven is 19. 18, and Tyler is 19. And they're all out of high school now, and we're all working in the household, so it's a beautiful thing that I'm here with them now. And I just thank God for me allowing me to heal and allowing me to be with her and the kids to fulfill that void that I thought that I had all that time. So now we're fast forwarding. Again, God allowed me to relaunch myself. I did have a TV show in Ohio that I started, so I relaunched a YouTube here. I decided to do DreamSteerers Academy again, and now this is my 5th year doing it. I have now graduated. After I add the 5 tonight, there will be a total of 38 dreamers that have gone through this program, and they're doing phenomenal things after graduation. So thank you guys for being here. We're gonna go on with the ceremony because my history is just so crazy, it could go on forever and ever. I want this night to be special for you because you guys have gone through so much to be here, to become graduates, to even think that you have a dream or a vision. To not know that you have a dream or vision, but to just say, you know what, I know it's something, and God led you to my classes to say that now He's allowing me to speak into your hearts. So that's a blessing in itself, and I can't thank Him enough that He would give me that type of responsibility. So without further ado, I'm going to be presenting the certificates to our graduates. And when you guys come up, you want me to save you for last since you're not the one here present? And so many of them are going through challenges. I don't know if Chandrika was supposed to be here, and Giovanna was supposed to always be here too, but she is on Zoom, and I'm going to talk about what Giovanna is going through as well once I do introduce her. So, as I said, this academy started, it's a 9-week course, and it's to uncover, discover, and develop the goal or dream or vision that God has already placed in your heart to do. We're always marred by hurt, pain, past experiences, everything that we've encountered in our lives that keeps us from focusing on our dreams. At DreamSteerers Academy, my purpose for that 9 weeks is to delve inside of that and let you really focus on what God has really placed in your heart to do. And what I really love about it is some of them come to the class with one vision in mind, and by the 5th period, they're like, that's not really what I wanted to do, because I had to uncover the layer of what's really stopping them. Usually it's finances, always the biggest one. Usually it's the past hurt. And maybe it's the other one of fear. And the 4th one, with people telling you that you can't do it. So those are all of the things that we attack during DreamSteerers Academy to help you uncover what's going on, so that by the time the 9th class arrives, which I did it for 9 because that symbolizes birth, that you will be, if you still don't know what it is you want to do, you will at least have a change of mind to know that, you know, whatever it is, I know God has a purpose bigger for me, and I know that I can accomplish it. So these are the graduates that have done this tonight, and as I said, this is my first time doing a Zoom, and on that, I'm hoping that the ones on Zoom will probably be able to, Derek, when I announce the ones on Zoom, we'll be able to try to see them. Is that gonna work? Okay. Well, I'm gonna bring up the one who is present now, and we'll still give you times to do that. Is that what you need, more time for the light? All right, good. Because it's all about lighting as well. So, I'm going to try to contain myself because it's an emotional day today because there was so much to be here. I'm going to get it together. So, this particular dreamer was so amazing because, well, we met, we were walking in a park, we had gone to Girl Power's walk, and we just ended up walking together, and we ended up going around twice, 3 times, just talking. So when the academy offer came up, she says, Miss Bev, I'm interested in attending, and you know, I have a scholarship program as well. I'm like, absolutely. And she said, because I have no clue what it is I want to do, like zip, none, de nada. And very rarely you'll catch somebody that says they just don't have any clue as far as what they want to do. The thing is, they do know. It's just so hidden till they're not allowing themselves to realize it's already there. And that's what she did in DreamSteerers Academy. She came as an open book. And when a person opens up and says, Beverly is a DreamSteerer, I don't know what she does, but all I know is I need to be in her class. It's amazing when they do that, and I love her for that. Plus, she drove an hour from Buckeye every time for the class, and she ended up sometimes being the only one in the class because it doesn't matter. For some reason, every time I had the class, I just felt like it was full because that's just what I do. All that mattered was that she was there, but we also had the Zoomers there that were coming in, and that was my first time doing that. So I just want to say, Michelle, Courtney, your certificate says it's a full scholarship recipient because she did receive a scholarship to come. You get perfect attendance elite because you never missed a class, which was just extraordinary, driving an hour back and forth, and then you had things going on in your life as well. And I'm also saying you were the most committed because when you said that you were going to drive each hour, still not knowing what it is that you wanted to do. And then at the end of the 9th week, well, she stands up and she says, hold up, what do I have to do to sign up to be in your certified instructor program? I'm like, okay. From someone who didn't have the insight to someone that's totally changed. And I just want to bring her up. So Michelle, come on up. Tell a little bit about your family. Let them know what happened before you started DreamSteerers Academy and what you've gotten from it and what you plan to do. Come on up, please help me welcome Michelle Courtney.
Okay, praise God. I'm glad to be here. I thank God for this lady right here. She's a jewel in a gem, and I'm so glad that we had a divine connection to meet. This is my family here, my daughter, my oldest daughter, my son-in-law, my 3 grandchildren. I have 2 other children, a son and a daughter and another grandson. I always knew there was something that God had for me to do. I volunteer a lot. I like working with people and helping people, especially women and children who don't have support or parents, because I grew up, with my grandmother, and as Bev mentioned, my mom had me at 15, so, she just did the best she could, but my grandmother actually raised me, and so I have a heart for women, single, women who are raising children who are single, and children who don't have support of their parents. But still, turning 60 this year, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. And I told Beverly when in my essay that I wrote for the scholarship, I know I'm at a turning point in my life, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing next. There's lots of things that I would like to do, but I want to make sure it's the direction that God wants me to go into. And I've always wanted to be a teacher as a child. I never became a teacher. I did graduate college. My son-in-law kept saying, you're supposed to be teaching. And I really have, well, not a formal teacher in school, but I've been teaching all my life, whether it's my children, my grandchildren. In my volunteer, I taught at the DreamSteerers, teaching the Bible. So there's lots of different ways that I've taught. I've taught dance, which I love dance. I never pursued that, but anyway. It wasn't until week 9, I was at my computer at work, and I just got a revelation. And I said, I am in education. I am doing, I am in a job that I love, that I like to do, which is education. I'm in the field of education, and I know I'm supposed to be, helping other people in education and teaching other people. And I love what Beverly does. Of all the speakers, have to digress, but all the speakers have been so great and so wonderful and have poured so much into me. I've learned from each and every one of them, and it's been a blessing to hear their story and to see where they came from. And it just energized me and encouraged me, and I'm like, well, I can do it too. This class gave me the encouragement that I needed, the support that I needed, and the confidence that I needed to go to the next level. So by week, I'm saying, I don't know what I'm gonna do. By week 9, I get it. I'm so anxious to tell Beverly I'm crying at my desk because God just downloaded it into my spirit. And so I decided to go back to school and get my doctorate degree in education. I also, I signed up for another volunteer opportunity because I'm always looking for ways to serve and help other people. And so I signed on with Fresh Start, which is a women's organization that helps women who have, come out of all kinds of situations, get a new start. And I'm hoping to be able to facilitate some of their trainings, which is what I got my master's degree in. And so it's an opportunity for me to use that and get into the field of education. And I'm hoping to stay under this great woman to continue to mentor me to be, a DreamSteerer for other people. I'm going to be the mini DreamSteerer for other women, but I'm grateful that God has an assignment for me, and I finally have a sense of direction where I'm going in this phase of my life. So I thank God. Thank you guys for your attention, and just have a blessed day. And I'm thankful for all my Dream sisters who were in the class with me. There's some awesome women, and I've just learned so much from everyone. So I'm so grateful and thankful. God bless you.
So I'm checking it. Thank you so much, Michelle. It's amazing. When she told me when she was about to come to the last class, and she like, I can't wait to tell you it finally hit. It's like I was at her job, and she was just like, matter of fact, I looked at her and I said, you've changed. The glow on her face was just enormous. When she walked in, I'm like, I knew something happened. She said, you just have no idea. And she said it just hit her like a ton of bricks that this is what she wanted to do, and it was just amazing to hear it right before the 9th class. Amazing. So how are my Zoomers doing? I'm gonna try to do a quick check-in. Okay guys, is it okay if I unmute them if they try to say something? How does that work?
There might be some reverb, but you can try.
Sandy, good, because guess what? You're up next. Is she on? How are we going to get her up there? Thank you guys for adjusting. This is amazing. It's like I love challenges because they like really challenge me to do what I need to do and stretch you. But it's also, it's a measure of faith. And that's really what the challenge is all about. Do you have faith enough to know that this is going to work? And I can't wait to tell you how this came together and how God pulled these people together to do this, because I had no idea what I was going to do. So are we going to be able to get Miss Sandy out from Milwaukee? All right, so Miss Sandy, my love. So can you hear me okay? Do a test. Do a test, let me hear you. All right, so let me do your intro first, and then I want you to say so many beautiful things because you have such a beautiful smile and spirit for that. So Miss Sandra Malone, we met before, and it was amazing because she actually started being a client. Because people don't actually realize I do one-on-one consultations, and that's what I do. It's like whatever your goal, dream, or vision is, I help you accomplish it. But they're so used to seeing me on DreamSteerers Academy. But she reached out to me, and she said she had all of these ideas, and yes, she was all over the place. So the strategy for anybody that I'm going to have a consultation with is to send you a Dreamsteer questionnaire, and it's in depth and it touches your soul, and you have to reply to it. And she's like, oh my God, I'm answering these questions, but I just never knew I really had all of this inside of it. And the next thing you know, DreamSteerers Academy came aboard, and she said, I'm just gonna have to just take the class because there's a lot that she has inside. She was going through some things with her parents being just recently passed, and she was just in a place where she just needed freedom, and she just needed to know that she could move on in her life. So I'm so happy to say that she joined DreamSteerers Academy. We hope that this works because Sandy, you are, of course, a Zoom scholarship recipient because she received a scholarship because of her wonderful story. And I always give my students a name, and I gave you most intriguing because you do. You intrigue me every time, coming aboard whenever you can, and with everything that you have inside of you. So without any further ado, that's okay. Without any further ado, I want you guys to help me welcome Sandra. By the way, she's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, correct? Yes, because like I said, it's my first. So she is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we're gonna cut it off so we can let you talk. Sandra Malone, give her a hand, please.
Thank you so much. This is quite an honor. I'm so pleased that I made it this far. It's been an incredible roller coaster year for me. I did, unfortunately but fortunately, I walked through the last stages of pancreatic cancer that my mother was diagnosed with, and so she was getting ill actually during the pandemic, and so that was a gruesome, really challenging time for our family, and God allowed me to actually walk that experience with her. I am an educator, and he had me just not work during that time. So school teacher, middle school teacher. And so I did work, and I really spent a lot of my time with my mother. I learned so much from her as her health was declining. Her mind was still sharp. She wasn't able to be as strong verbally, but I just really grew to see her not as just my mother, but as a strong Black woman. I saw her as a wife. I saw her as an individual, that God just really ordained for me to have her as my mother. I learned so much from her, and as she declined, her spirit got stronger, and she was very confident that she was ready to go. And I had a friend, close friend, dear friend, Christian woman, who said, you know, please, when it's time for her parents to go, and they're ready to go, they always are reluctant because they know that their loved ones are going to be so upset. But if you can just, in your heart, just let them go and tell them that it's okay for them to want to leave, that will give them the grace and the will to do that. And that is exactly what I did. when I knew that she was ready to go and I wanted her to stay, I said, it's more important that she goes. And I said, Mommy, you've done everything. You've been the greatest mother, the greatest teacher, the greatest educator that anyone could ever have. We were so blessed to have you. And if you're ready to go, we will accept that because you've done everything that you could do for us. And now it's our turn to take the baton. And so she did in those next 48 hours. She did transition. And although it was the hardest thing I've ever had to see, and during that time during COVID, I was her only visitor because they only allowed one person to visit in the hospital. And I was the only one. My brothers and other siblings would only be able to see her on Zoom. And so that was really God-given, that I was the one chosen to spend those last moments with my mother. And she lived with me, and so I thought it was just really a wonderful thing that we came full circle, that I was able to see her go to heaven. And so after that, I just went through a lot of up and down, as you do with grief. I mean, you're happy for them, that they're not suffering, but then I was like, oh, what do I do? I was so many years a caregiver, not only for my mom, but for my dad. And I kind of felt that my life was on hold. And now that they were both gone, I didn't even know where to pick up or where to start my life again. And so that's when I called Beverly. And I really reached out for therapy because my friends were helping me and they were very supportive, but I wanted someone that I could actually really didn't know me that well and could be objective and help me figure out what I needed to do. And I don't know, something about Beverly, I just really gravitated toward her. She reminded me like a big sister I never had, but I think I'm older than she is. But she acted like a big sister. And then she was she was a therapist. So I thought, oh my God, I never met a therapist before. Like I never went to see a therapist. And I always saw, TV shows with, going to see the psychiatrist. But I never saw one. And I was like, why people even go to psychiatrists or therapy? And then she just unveiled all of that for me and made it seem like, it's a good thing. And I was in social work, so I know the value of therapy. So anyway, I just really clicked with her because I don't know, we had a good vibe. So I trusted her, and she was guiding me to the process of therapy. And then this opportunity came for me to be in a program and really focus on my dreams. And I was like, oh no, more school, because I'm a teacher. So I'm like, I didn't want homework. So, but she had this book, and she had these classes, and they were so informative. It really, DreamSteerers, in the book of just unlocking your dreams and the obstacles that come when you're closer to your dream. I mean, it's just, it was so challenging and yet wonderful for me to be in the class. I met so many amazing students, heard from so many amazing presenters, former students who had been through the program. And it was exactly the thing that I needed. And I'm so grateful that I went through the program and I finished. Barely, but I finished. So now I'm excited about what the future has for me because now I am more focused and I really, I had another breakthrough today on what God wants me to do, and I'm so excited. So more about that later. But I just want you to know that this program classes, academy, whatever you want to call it, really was beneficial to me. And I thank you, Beverly, for being obedient to your calling and putting this kind of a format together for people, regardless of your age, just to really focus on unlocking the gifts and the talents and the vision that God has for each and every one of us. And you gave the blueprint on how to actually go about achieving all the things that God has for you in this lifetime. So I think it's amazing what you've done, and I'm so grateful that we met, and so grateful that I got my homework in, because I was not going to take this class over. But on a more serious note, it's been the most amazing thing, and I'm just looking forward to all the possibilities and doors that are going to open as a result of me taking this class. Thank you. And to all the rest of my present and former graduates of the program, congratulations to you. Give yourself a hand.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, so a little technical. Can you guys see that big, beautiful smile that she has? And that's why I called her most intriguing, because every time she would get on, that smile would come on. And like I said, since this is my first time doing it, half the time her ear was there because she's like, I can't hear what's going on. When I tell you the enemy tried to destroy the first class all the way to the 9th class with technical difficulties that you could not imagine, but each week they pulled through, they were patient, and they did what they had to do. I still feel like I need to give them the class again, because it looks like I think they may have missed a lot from sometimes the Zoom and the speaker going out, but Sandy is just amazing, because with each person that I talk to, I'm always in touch with them, and I'm always asking them to tell me what's going on in their lives. And I know the background of what they're doing, and as they're still trying to come to class, still trying to complete the homework. Sandy there's always one in the class. Sandy was my one, so she was finally completing the homework as of yesterday, which was wonderful, and I told her that, Sandy, I know that you could do it even with that busy schedule that you have and with all that you're doing, so I just thank Sandy so much for being a graduate of DreamSteerers Academy. Who else we have online? Is it Giovanna? Is Ginta here too? Yeah. Okay. Giovanna, I am not sure if you are able or ready to speak. I will let them know what's going on with you. Is she chatting or anything? I have a beautiful story about Giovanna, first of all, because Giovanna is one of my daughter's best friends. The other amazing part is Giovanna is from my hometown. And it's like when Jesus went back home and he was not respected by his peers or his people, because he was like, I always say, I refer to him like they just thought that he was just Lil G the carpenter that used to do things. And when he came back talking about he was Jesus Christ, they were like, yeah, right, Lil G, you just fix furniture and stuff, and you're not respected in your own hometown. So it was an honor for her to say that she wanted to take the class. On top of that, she actually came here and stayed with my daughter and myself for several months in Arizona. So I know her history. I know what she's went through. I know what she was going through when she got here. She actually got here and was making huge strides in a job she loved. And then it was taken away from her instantly, saying that the job is no longer available, and it broke her heart. As a matter of fact, she was quiet in the house for 2 days, and we did not understand what had happened because she couldn't speak about it. It was an online job. She picked her window by our front in the living room, and she sat there because she loved seeing the sun come up or putting the lights on, the sunlight coming through that, and she was so content and beautiful, and she did the job so well. It was customer service for a loan company mortgage company. And she just did it so well till she got top honors. They honored her, said that she was one of the best. They said that they might even use her as far as training is concerned because she handled her customers so well. And without notice, they just told her that the job was no longer available, and it broke her heart. So, like I said, we didn't even know what had happened. She just shut down. So that was one of the moments, and I already knew that she was already in a place where so many things had happened to her, and she's such a giver. She does daily prayers on Facebook. She's always encouraging people to do what they need to do. And for that to happen to her was just a blow, another blow on top of things, because she kept saying, when is it my time? I'm giving. You know, I just want God to bless me for a change. Not being selfish, but we all want God's reward, and especially when we're doing His work. So Giovanna right now was going to fly in to this graduation, and she has her father is in his last stages of cancer. So she had made the reservation. He was not doing well then. She was just praying and hoping that he was holding on. Right now, after I talked to her today, she just says that he's just holding on. So she had to change her reservation from coming here to Phoenix to Arizona and change her reservation to go back to Louisiana. She's presently living in San Antonio, Texas, but she had to change her reservation, and that's where she is now. The fact that I think she is on Zoom, I'm just not sure that she's able to talk because it's really a heavy weight on the family at this time. I just want to let her know that we're with her, we love her, and I'm still going to present this certificate to her. I would tell my daughter to come and receive it for her, but
But what?
she won't do it. Will you just come and get it after I give it to her? And you got to take a picture.
Thank you.
She's like me, she's behind the camera. She doesn't care about any of that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Giovanna is our 2021 Zoom Scholarship recipient because she was one of the first on Zoom. And she gets best Zoom attendance, which was phenomenal. That every week she Zoomed in, even when we were having technical difficulties. So no matter what was going on in her life, and there has been a lot over these 9 weeks. And it breaks her heart that she can't be here in Arizona, and I know it does, but she still managed to come. So I gave her the name of Most Resilient, because no matter what was happening, she bounced back. She called me T-Bev. She said, T-Bev, I'm gonna be on the Zoom tonight, and T-Bev, everything's gonna be all right, and that's what she does. So I just wanna bless Giovanna for being here. Is she saying anything at all? Okay, so she shared too many people are there. He's really, really in his last stages. So please pray for Giovanna and her family, that they remain strong through this time, and that God do what God does. So, matter of fact, I'm just gonna say a prayer right now. Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing Giovanna to even be present, Father, even on the Zoom call, even at this particular time. I know in hearts of hearts that she wanted to be here so badly, and I wanted her to be here so badly. I know my daughter wanted her to be here as well. We know that God does things for reasons we can't fathom at times. So all I want to say is when God reveals to her the reason and purpose for her not being here and being at her father's side, then it will be revealed to her, and she knows that they will come out of this even better than before. I pray that she keeps her dreams alive. I pray that we stay connected, and I pray that everything goes well. Please cover the family right now, Father, in the name of Jesus, as they're going through this hard time. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Give a clap for Giovanna. Giovanna, here's your plaque. Can you take a picture? Oh, you can still take a picture of me taking a picture of her with her Zoom. And my daughter, please come accept this.
Daughter, please come accept this, please. We need you.
It's like pulling teeth for me to take pictures with her and my grandkids. Like, well, we gotta take pictures. So she's gonna accept on Giovanna's half. This is my beautiful daughter, my one and only Natasha. Beautiful, love you, Monique. Okay. Oh my God, this is so much incredible stuff happening. Yeah, you left your award. Oh, okay, this is Sandy's. You got yours. All right, here's your gift. Yeah, it's your gift. And Giovanna, everybody gets a gift. She gets so jealous when I do things and people are like, I got your gift, Giovanna. I'll save it for you when you get here to Arizona, okay? All right, do we have Ginta? How about Chandrika? Chandrika's on? How about Chandrika? All right. This is enormous, guys. DreamSteerers Academy just went international because Ginta is from Costa Rica. Oh my God, I never would have thought that I could probably now call it international, so I guess that's God's preparing me for that, and he keeps reminding me every month to get my passport, because I have not been out of the country yet. So, Ginta, I actually just saw her online because she had posted something so beautiful about a dream that God had given her overnight. And it was so beautiful, and she had the backdrop of Costa Rica with the ocean, and it was just like so beautiful as she's speaking her heart. Then she has that beautiful accent. Oh my God, I just fell in love with everything about her because she has so many beautiful dreams. And what word do I really want to use as far as having someone to zoom in from Costa Rica that is going through so much, because I also know her background as far as why she is in Costa Rica and the challenges that she has being there. So I'm just blessed that she would even do that and still every week come on board and do the best that she can to be on the Zoom call. So for her, she is a Zoom scholarship recipient because she was one of the first also to Zoom in and say that she needed a scholarship. But I will give her the title of First International Graduate and Most Inspirational. So please give Ginta Puke a hand. Face toward camera. Oh, hi Ginta. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but Derek wants me to show you your plaque. See? We gotta ship it to you some kind of way too. You're welcome. All right, so here's Ginta Puke from Costa Rica. Look how beautiful. So good. Go ahead, Ginta.
I want to say thanks to you, Beverly, for this time, and also to Nancy, who gave me this opportunity, this scholarship. And I want to say, I don't know, others, they don't know this, my background. I just will introduce with a couple of sentences that it was my moment in my time when I was seeking my calling, when I somehow caught your post online, something about DreamSteerers Academy, and I thought that this somehow resonates with me because I have read this book, and I read this book back in 2013, and it was in that time when I believed that I sold my house, and as a family we pursued our dream. Like my husband, we actually paid with our house money for the Bible school and for my photography school, and like believing that God will lead us in ministry or something, but it just didn't happen. And I was so disappointed, like giving everything away, and then all those 7 years of struggle, it was like hard landing on the ground. And it was meaningful that like all of those painful years began reading this book, and now I realized that you will be using this book. Actually, when I saw you, this DreamSteerers Academy, I didn't know that there will be some kind of work with this book. Only when I applied, I realized that that's the same book. And it's kind of very interesting synchronicity. And also it was time when we had to leave Canada to come to Costa Rica. It was in June when we came. And we had to leave because I couldn't graduate. I didn't have finance for graduating my master's in counseling, psychology and art therapy. And it was like very, very hard time when I entered in this academy, and I really was thinking like I really had to go through what really God has meant for my life. I had big house, like misunderstandings and everything. And being in this DreamSteerers Academy, going through those questions and sharing every Thursday with you, it was so refreshing. And firstly, it was just because of feeling the connection, the support, the being together with other Christian women who are pursuing their dream. That alone is very inspirational and very powerful for me, as I also don't have a church or connection with other Christian women, and it was like I cannot express in words how helpful it was just see that somebody else also is in the same place as me and seeking God and trying to realize the dream. And when I got this book, when I started to read it, I read it to my husband aloud, and it took me 2 or 3 hours when I was reading, and he was patiently sitting and listening to me. And I was reading and crying, and I'm crying. But it was really powerful to read this book again and find myself resonating with those feelings that were described about time in a desert, and feeling that God has left me, and it was so powerful. So at the end, I came to realize many things, and including my dreams. And then when I was ready, and I also submitted to Beverly my things and what I will be going to do, when Beverly asked us to listen to her meditation, even in a Zoom, it was very hard to understand and hear and everything. It was like technical problems, but from that, what I heard, it already affected me that somehow I discovered that no, I haven't digged deep enough, and this even older dream came up, and so now Beverly, I have to go again through those questionnaires with this new discovery, what I discovered during that meditation. So yeah, thank you for having me here and supporting me, encouraging, and being there, and like, yeah, it was really like meaningful. I would call God's appointed time, because it's like it was like a perfect time for me to connect with Christian leaders and dream seekers. Thank you.
Thank you for zooming in Costa Rica. As I said, I know a lot of their backgrounds and how they still persevere through all that they're going through. It's truly amazing. And it's amazing that the gift that God has placed in my heart to do, that they're gravitating and seeking it. And it's just amazing that He anointed me with it so that I can reach out to someone in Costa Rica. Then I can reach out to people that are right here. And my most amazing thing right now is that I don't have a class full of people, because I know everybody has a dream. And it's my passion to do that. So again, to thank you so much for zooming in, even in all of that you're going through. She could barely make class today, and I just will have to actually honestly tell you that she was not even able to complete all of the homework assignments, because the enemy was trying to tell her, you haven't finished these assignments, so you're not graduating today. So thank God she reached out to me, and I told her the enemy is a super liar, and the day that I would not allow her to graduate over something like that, because she will make it up, that she was definitely going to graduate today, and she just had a leap of joy, because she was just so upset that she hadn't finished it, because she's got so much going on in her life right now. So Gita, thank you for getting on. Thank you for having the courage. Thank you for being there. Thank your family, your son, for supporting you, because I know that they're there for you. And I know you want to do so much for your son, and expenses won't even allow you to get him to school right now, and that just hurts my heart. So hang in there. Know that God has a purpose for all of it, and that you know that you will persevere, and these new levels of dreams that have come out of you are amazing. I want you guys to please go to her YouTube channel. It is amazing, the things that she's writing and what God is giving her. And now she's even showing pictures of Costa Rica, the beautiful ocean, rain. It's just incredible. What's the name of it, Ginta? She's not on it, but what is it? I can't hear. Yeah, your YouTube channel. She's speaking.
And she prospers.
As she prospers. As she prospers. Please go to that YouTube channel, and you definitely will be blessed. And she came aboard thinking that's what she's wanted to do. And her dream uncovered again, as I don't know if you heard it, but she said it went back to what her old dream was. Her vision is to do photography, because she does amazing photography. So I love that part. Yes. So another hand for Gita. All right. So Chandrika didn't make it. She's not online. All right. Chandrika, another amazing soul that going through monumental struggles right now, especially with transportation. And last night, we were at an event together where she got honored. The event was from a graduate from DreamSteerers Academy. Her name is LaDanya Yvette, who has been launching events, books, magazine covers, editing, writing, you name it, she's doing it. And she launched 1 month after graduating DreamSteerers Academy, and she hasn't stopped since. She is launching like crazy, and she had another event yesterday and the day before that she and I attended, and Chandrika is now her personal assistant to show you how you have dream sisters and you never know how they're gonna come together to help each other. So LaDonya's event was just off the chain beautiful. I just commended her and I just looked at her and just saw just how much power she has brought onto herself after leaving DreamSteerers Academy and just going in and becoming a certified coach, going through other people, having other mentors, coaches, doing what they do because she never stops. So Chandrika and I were there. She honored Chandrika at the event, so she was there, and Chandrika does jewelry. And today she had a huge expo in Phoenix, but she's also experiencing transportation issues, and if you can believe, she works in Mesa, but she lives in Scottsdale, and she's been commuting on buses for her job for the last few weeks, and she didn't know how she would be able to work it out to be here today. I talked to her last night. She said she would do her best, but I told her I understand. So Chandrika is just another person that's also sought me out to do consulting first, and that was like 3 years ago, and then she kind of lost track and things in life happened, and then when DreamSteerers Academy came back up, she says, okay, I'm ready to come, because it's always about timing. So for Chandrika McDowell, she is a full scholarship recipient as well, and I also gave her most perseverance because she has persevered through so many obstacles itself. Should I hold this up, Derek?
Yes,
Chandrika, we love you, Chandrika. We know if you were here, you could be here. I hope at some point in time that you'll still be able to come in on Zoom for doing what you're doing in order to still graduate. Okay. Just amazing what they're going through. Whew. So that was the last of my graduates, but I also had 2 other certified DreamSteerers instructors that I'm graduating as well. And a certified DreamSteerers instructor is a person that when I'm not there, that they will be able to fill in, because God said He's going to grow my territory, so I better get some backup when I can't be there. And 2 people graduated again this year. LaDanya Yvette was the first one, and this year Tandra Garvin and Dr. Vashi Worley Moore became certified DreamSteerers Academy instructors, so let's give them a hand. Just a quick story about both of them. Tandra Garvin, 2017 or 18 graduated, excuse me for that, Tandra, graduated from DreamSteerers Academy then, and she is, when she came to my class, she was a nurse practitioner. I'm like, well, it sounds like you already know what you're doing. While I was in my class, she's like, Beverly, you never stop learning. I'm like, you're right. And she came, and she came, and she just blossomed even more. So now she's at the point she has opened her own nurse practitioner business. Went and got more certifications. She never stops learning. Talk about a giver, just gives from her soul, will help anyone, and I just love Tandra for that. So came there as a nurse practitioner, and now she's growing her business even bigger at this point. She says, if I'm doing this for somebody else, I can do this for myself. So that's what she did. She opened that up. And Dr. Rasheed Worley Moore, and I put the word doctor in front of her. And a real quick story about her. Rasheed is also a 2018 graduate. When Rasheed came into the class, I didn't think she was coming back because she didn't say anything for like 3 classes. She just came and she just wrote. And each week I'm like, I sure hope she comes back to class because she's not saying anything, she's not participating. And she was just quiet. She's just so amazing. Well, by the 5th or 6th class, we couldn't shut her up because she had finally come out of herself, and she had also lost her mom, and she was in a really, really, I don't want to say a dark place, but she was in a place where her soul was just not at peace. But by the 5th or 6th class, she was, and then when she got up to do her graduation speech, it was just amazing because I just saw how she blossomed from not saying anything at all. And now she's really blessed my heart because she is also a first lady, because she's married to Corey, last name. Yes, she's married to Corey, and they just opened a church in Flagstaff together. So she's a first lady as well. And then on top of that, she decided to go back and get her Doctor of Divinity in ministry, and now she is now Dr. Rasheed Worley Moore, and she does a morning prayer on Wednesday that, oh my God, you get on it, and she prays for 30 to 40 minutes, and it's intense. Plus, she's on a radio program, or I should say an internet radio program as well. So it's just phenomenal things that are coming out of people that come in the class quiet, not knowing what's going on with them, but they show up and say there's something that they know they need to be more. And then when you see how they blossom, it's just amazing. So a hand again for Dr. Rasheed Worley Moore, and for Chandler Garber. I think that's it. It is. Okay. So, what time is it, Jim?
25 after 7.
What?
25 after 7.
All right, well, we got to bring our speaker up, and then I'll bring up acknowledgement. So, did you send me that? Okay. All right. Messenger would have been so much better. Okay, so I want to read her bio, but it's not that they call me unprofessional. I just do things on a personal level. I'm just going to tell my personal story for her, and then she can tell you. Didn't you come to graduation with Yvette? Okay, so this is how things go full circle. I remembered your picture that Elena took. I'm like, wait a minute, Denise, your mom was that was 2018 or 19. So she attended one of my graduations for one of the students because she is a pastor, which is powerful and just so beautiful how things, so I saw them at another event together, and we hugged, and she says, yeah, I remember you. I'm like, yeah, I remember you too. And then her daughter came and sat next to me while you were up talking, so we just instantly just started talking because she has that personality as well from her mother. And we just talked, just gelled, and it was like, oh, this is a really beautiful person. Then she got up and spoke, and I'm like, I think I need her speaking at my academy. So that was the first time it spoke to me to do that. And with this academy, it was very, very difficult to try to pull things together because of the way that I was doing it, because of after COVID, because of a lot of things. And of course, the enemy will tell you you can't do something, but he's always talking to the wrong person when he's talking to me because I don't listen. So when it came up again for speakers, each week I don't pre-list my speakers. I just allow God to just speak to me and tell me who's going to be the speaker for the following week. And he does, and it's been really, really beautiful. So then it got down to the 9th week, and I still had not decided on a speaker. I'm like, what's going on with this? So she came into my spirit to be a speaker, and then I said, I think it might be more than just a speaker for my classes. And in case anybody didn't know, I have a speaker every week that comes in and motivates and encourages my students, which is very, very good because they also tell their testimonies. So I finally reached out to her and says, fine, I want to have you as my speaker, but it just still didn't feel like it was complete. And then I was on Facebook, and I saw that she posted that her father had passed. And this was a week before she was supposed to be speaking at the academy. So immediately I said, I have to attend. First of all, that's out of respect. I just knew I had to be there. And so I did, and it was amazing how she handled the services with her father passing, and it was just a beautiful service altogether. It was just extraordinary, and I just smiled, and I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be she's gonna be the commencement speaker. And I'm gonna tell her that she doesn't have to speak this week because of what she was going through. So, of course, we stood in line to give our condolences and to say what we needed to say to her. So I got in the line, and I just kind of hugged her, and I said, Patrice, don't worry about speaking this week. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm still speaking. I'm like, but you're going through some. She's like, I'm still speaking. I said, but I may want you for something else. It doesn't matter. I am speaking this week. And this was at the time that she was hosting her father's services, and the strength was just so amazing in her till I knew I had to have her here to speak that light into someone else. So I'm gonna let her tell you what her background is. Besides being a motivational speaker, she has a blog post, and she's just a wonderful person. And I know when God said to me, it's like, she's gonna speak in your class, but she's also gonna be your commencement speaker. I said, gotcha. Thank you for letting me delay on that decision to do that, and I know that I've picked the right person for it. So without any further ado, please help me welcome Patrice Dillard Wilson as our commencement speaker.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much again, Beverly, for having me. You know, the way that God delivers divine connections is amazing. Again, my name is Patrice Dillard Wilson, and I'm a minister by trade. I'm an empowerment coach. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a wife. I'm an author. I'm a friend. But most of all, I am a dreamer too. And so I'm here to encourage you all, to all the dreamers, if everyone has ever had a dream or you're still dreaming, raise your hand, and on Zoom too. All right, so this is for you all. The three advantages that I would like to encourage you all with, first of all, I'm going to list them. And if you could just scribble them down on your mental chalkboard, okay, mental chalkboard. The number one first thing that's going to be an advantage to a dreamer is seeking your vision. Number two, it's going to be building your vision. And then number three, feeding your vision, okay? So we have seek your vision, build your vision, and then feed your vision. When we do these three things, okay, the courage to be ourselves happens. When you seek it, when you build it, and when you feed it. This type of vision causes us to win in God's world, okay? When your blessings happen to you, it's for you to bless someone else. So question for each and every one of you. What if things and opportunities regarding your life and your vision was already predestined to work out for you? How would you go about your everyday challenges? How would you go about your dream now that you know what the outcome is going to be, that it's going to be the best expected outcome? The power of vision and imagination is what drives us to do better and to be better. Beverly mentioned my father, and there are so many challenges that I can think about that have caused me to be where I'm at. But the number one dream that I had when I was a little girl was to be a black belt. And my father at the time had a karate school, and he was a master and trained me since I was a little girl. And the thing that I'm remembering most since he has passed is the quote that he used to say is, perfect practice is what makes perfection. Not practicing things to be perfect at them, but perfect practice makes perfect. And so the reason why I'm doing this type of dream is because this type of dream took consistency to be a black belt in martial arts. It took motivation, and it took a willpower and a willingly successful thought to know that I can achieve it. So how did I seek my vision as being a black belt? I dove into the craft. I practiced day and night when I didn't feel like it. When my body ached every night, I still got up, I still did thousands of kicks, I still kicked boards, I still lost my mind before prom, before dances, before all the social life, because this was during high school. And in those moments, I look back and I say, I was building up courage and character to be myself. The number one thing about having a vision that you're seeking, that you're building, and that you're feeding is that you have to be yourself. God can't bless who you pretend to be. Let's all say that. God cannot bless who I pretend to be. He wants you with those mistakes. He wants you with those thoughts that you're not enough. He wants you to acknowledge and establish that you might have insecurities, because these are going to be building blocks to get you to where you have to go. And so building my vision or seeking my vision as a black belt, I also fed myself by looking at different martial art videos, trying to understand, how does a martial artist work out life? How does a martial artist come up and figure out how to get through obstacles? How does a martial artist understand how to fight life and fight with skill? Through the 2.5 years that it took me to achieve being a black belt, I learned to master my mindset. You see, when obstacles happen, it's to build you up and to strengthen you to get you to where you have to go. So a couple of things that I did. I decided to change my perspective from failure, that I can still make it. So from failure, instead I decided to remember what it is inside of me that I can do in birth. I took all the challenges of the gruesome classes, the things that we had to realize and do in Korean, the things that I had to establish myself in my father's class to know who it is that I want to be. We're talking about building your dream by seeking it, by building it, and then by feeding it with good success. Did you know that you have the capability and the power to say to yourself, I can become what I am dreaming? Let's all say that together. I can become what I am dreaming. Now this is important because as you think about it, God has set up things in your life to be stepping stones to get you to where you have to go. Think about it this way. When you go to work out, you can't just go, I love lifting weights. And so when you go into a gym, the first thing you want to do is you want to build yourself up with a little bit of weight. God is not going to put more than you can bear. So to get you from point A to point B, he does have to lift some things on you so that you can be stronger to get what's on your prayer list. If I have a dream and I haven't gone through things, how can I acknowledge that I'm fit for that goal? How can I acknowledge that I'm fit for that position? How can I help someone if I haven't been through something else? Think about a seed. Before it grows, it has to be watered, it has to be nurtured, but it starts in the darkness. Before something grows, it starts in the darkness. So when your dream is being birthed, it is starting to be a seed. But the Word of God says that if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, then you can say to different mountains and challenges in your life to be moved. This is important as a dream. Everybody say, why is this important? Because it's going to help me to seek and dig deeper. As I was declaring my dream as a martial artist, I had to go back in my mindset and say, hey, why am I doing this? So that when I am testing for something, I can achieve it. So as we speed up the story about me being a martial artist, the final testing day came. It was the test to get my black belt. It was 5 hours of training, over 1,000 kicks, 20 boards broken, and still I had to fight 10 men at one time. My sweat is blinding my eyes. I cannot think. I have no energy. I feel like my life is about to crumble right there in front of everybody. Who can relate? When you are coming up against a different obstacle, it seems like everything could be against you. It seems like your mindset isn't triggered the way it used to be. It seems like your past comes out of nowhere and you don't have the courage to propel yourself forward. But I'm here to tell you and to encourage all of the dreamers that you have what it takes because you've been through some things. You have what it takes because you have the power to speak over yourself and say, you know what, I'm in the darkness right now, but I'm about to come out and I'm about to be something better than I was before. And when you think about it like that, it's easy to seek more of your vision. It's easy to build upon it, and then you feed it because you feed your mind that positive thought process. As I'm standing there in the martial art room in front of all of these people, and I'm thinking like, I done came too far, I've done sacrificed too much to not deliver what I know that I've been trained to do. When you go through life, you have to tell yourself, you know what, I have been through some things and I am ready. I have trained up myself to deliver this to this type of people, or I can deliver this service, or I don't know what I want to do in life, but you know what, I done been through so much that I can figure it out. A lot of times as dreamers, we let our circumstances dictate us what we can or cannot do. And so I want to encourage each and every one of you today, when you seek your vision, when you build upon the obstacles, you can feed yourself back what you've been through, because all you're going to say is, hey, you know what, I didn't make it last time, but I can make it today. My father's transition has also taught me that things that happen to you that you don't prefer, it's not a loss, it's a gain. A lot of times when people separate themselves from us or opportunities are taken from us, we think that we are losing. No, the only reason that you think you're failing is because you have to shift that mindset to say, you know what, actually I can do this. Actually, you know what, I didn't go through that to not get through this. Failure is only failure if you haven't learned. But I'm here to tell you that through every opportunity, there is a learning. And instead of thinking of it as a failure, you think of it as it's a winning stepping stone to get me to where I have to go. If I don't have weight on me, how do I get stronger? If I don't know how to shift from being a negative influencer or having negative behavior because of my past and shift it to something different, then how am I going to tell the next person to do it? A lot of times we're tested so that we can have a testimony to show someone else they can do it too. And so everybody say, number one, I'm going to seek my vision. I'm going to build my vision. And then I'm going to feed my vision. Because all of the things that you each have learned these past 9 weeks, I guarantee you there's going to be a test. Are you going to pass it? And if you don't pass it, how many times are you going to go through that same obstacle until you do? And some may say, well, I'm still going through the same thing, I just can't catch a break. Shift your mindset and stop saying, I can't catch a break. Have you noticed people that say, I can't catch a break, including I've been that person, sometimes you feel like you never can get up, but there's a purpose. Remember, when a seed is in the dirt, it is being built and is being strengthened and it's going to be watered down. Your problems, think of them as rain to get you from point A to point B and to be stronger. So, I encourage you today to move, to act, and to be yourself. I encourage you today to perfect that vision of yours by continuing to seek your dream, building your dream, and also feeding your dream. My dad's transition was something that I totally did not plan for. There were plans in my life that I said, you know what, I feel good about this, I feel confident, until I got the call and my mother showed up at my husband's house and my house at 3 in the morning to tell me that my father had passed. And it seemed like everything that I was so confident about no longer was. And it seems like everything that I was so sure that I could do, I felt like I was not able to. I felt insecure, I felt questionable, I felt doubtful. These are the times that you have the chance to shift your destiny. These are the times that you have the chance and the opportunity to shift your dreams. And these are the times that you get to tell yourself what we're not going to do. What we're not going to do is let it be a trigger. What we're not going to do is let it be a hiccup. You see, when your problems are presented to you, don't look at them as a problem. Say, you know what kind of opportunity is this going to take me to? Because with my dad's transition, when that happened, it seems like something else shifted and birthed inside of me, and that was more to empower those that are going through grief. That's to empower those who feel like they don't have enough of something. And that's to empower those to realize that we all have been down, but there's a chance for us to come up. And what I'd like to leave you with today is that you don't know, you can't guarantee the road and the journey ahead of you. We don't know what type of road is ahead of us, but what we can control is how we drive on that road. What we can control is our vehicle of how we're going to get there through faith. Everybody say this with me. I have the best expected outcomes. I can be the best expected outcome of a person. What you're doing is you're seeing things through the eyes and the lens of faith. You're not going by your emotions, you're shifting and you're taking it into positive action. When I say I'm going to seek my vision, what I'm saying is I'm going to keep digging a little deeper until I understand what it is that's inside of me, through my problems, through adversity. Adversity is going to happen, but it's only a mental mindset for you, or mental game, for you to get up and say, you know what, I can overcome this. People may no longer want to be around you, or people may turn their backs on you, but that's okay because there's a purpose in that. And what that purpose is to make you stronger and to uplift you. What that purpose is to show you, you know what? You don't have to like me because my purpose is for others to know that they can do it too. A lot of times we look at people's validation of us or their opinions or ideas of us, and we think that that's going to help us be propelled forward. People's opinions and validation doesn't matter. What matters is the dream that you have in you. What matters is why that dream is in you and who is it going to help. So I'm here to encourage you today to remember, continue to hold your head up high, back straight, confidence on 100% level, knowing that God has your back, nothing's impossible, and as long as you look at your problem and say, you know what, I have the best expected outcome through this opportunity, as long as you look at your problem and say nothing is impossible, watch your outcomes change, because when you seek your vision, when you build your vision, and when you feed your vision, nothing is impossible. So be blessed today and know that it's not how you start, it's going to be how you continue. Keep pushing because someone needs you. Congratulations to the 2021 graduates. You know, it's an honor to be here and to know that something like this exists, because if someone doesn't help you feed your dream, if someone doesn't show you that you have the capability to do it, how are any of us going to continue to grow? The thing about being a dreamer is that you're not exempt. You don't have to have training. You don't have to be qualified. When you were birthed with purpose, that qualified you. Amen. So be blessed. Congratulations again. Thank you so much, Beverly, for having this. You are an amazing, amazing dreamer. Hallelujah.
So now you know why I really needed her here. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Patrice. Thank you, Mom, Denise. I mean, I know what you're doing with her father just passing and everything else. I pay homage to you guys because I know this is a difficult time for you to be here. So thank you so much for blessing me. Thank you for allowing me to use the Spirit to ask you to say the prayer today, because I knew I just needed to have both of you here today for sure. Somebody give me a time for me? Thank you guys so much. How much more time we have? 15 minutes. My daughter. I have so many people to thank, but I just want you guys to open up the program really, really fast to see what's in front of you. Because each week, like I said, I had speakers that spoke in the academy every week, shared something, shared their lives, shared their stories in order to encourage the dreamers to do that. And one of them was Miss Billy Branch. She said she was coming, but she did not. The second one is right here in our audience, my good friend that kept me out late last night. Well, we needed that. And I'm going to have her come up and say a few words in a minute because she's such a beautiful soul. Dr. Rasheed Worley, which was one of my graduates, it's amazing that now I can call on my graduates to also encourage the class to have them come back. Angel Marie Monticelli has never missed one of my classes. She comes in with her Shine On movement. She's just an amazing lady that just encourages and gets my class pumped up. The other person is Derek Arizona Washington, was also a speaker that I had to pull in because he's such a behind-the-scenes type person. I said, no, I want you to come to my class and you're going to speak. And don't you know, every time he comes, he turns it around like, yeah, BB is the one, she's the Dreamsteerer. No, Derek, it was about you speaking, and I thank you for encouraging, and I want you to come up and say a few words. Yeah, you're going to say something. He's here too, so he was one of my speakers. Dr. Nancy Gaines Dillard, who is an actual doctor, and she just came in and blessed my class. Milan Rice, beautiful, wonderful lady, is also a consultant as well. And Patrice blessed the class. The last class, which was just wonderful, she and her husband came to the class, and I didn't mention to y'all the other thing that I mentioned in the book. When she also wrote a book, and the book was talking about celibacy. I'm like, and she had this picture of her and her husband, like, she was celibate with this man? Okay, so it was a beautiful book. I ordered it immediately and read it, and I'm like, how many years?
Like 32.
Okay, so she wasn't celibate 6 months, it was 3 years.
But I've been celibate my whole life.
And she's been celibate her entire life, so God, let's give her a hand. Because when she came to my class, she also said it was a dream for her to be a wife that would marry someone that's celibate. So isn't that a heck of a dream to have? That's amazing. It was beautiful, and the book is beautiful. I'm telling you, everybody should order that book so you guys can take that in a note, myself included. So, and I have Dr. Burnett Allen Joseph. Dr. Burnett Allen Joseph and Dr. Will always bless my class. They couldn't do it this time. Dr. Burnett actually sent you guys a video for the last class because it just didn't seem complete without him, and I'm going to play it to you guys, but I had to add it because he actually was going to be a speaker as well. So, I acknowledge them, and first of all, Patrice, you need to come up here because you get your certificate. Last time I had the speaker, I went home with her certificate, so you know we're gonna make sure we get this one right now. So this is presented to you, Patrice Dillard Wilson, for your spirit of excellence and commitment. So, I call them my family, and they never really want to get acknowledgement for being who they are, but they know I can't do that. Believe it or not, your certificate is from last year, because I was doing it last year and I went home with it, so I did it again this year as well. But these people we call each other family because they are. We have shared so many personal things together. It's just unbelievable, starting with I'm not gonna get emotional, but I just have to acknowledge two people that just give from their heart. I've been having these academy classes. They come here diligently, work it, video it, take pictures of it, and I say, what can I pay you? Half the time they know that I can't. But it doesn't ever change, and I'm not the only one that they do that for as well. Well, you're gonna get paid this time, for sure. But I love them because they have a heart of gold. They're givers, they do what they need to do, they show up. They started their career just showing up doing photography, and the next thing you know, now they're the most sought after photographers and videographers in the Phoenix, Arizona area. So I want to honor my family, Jim, Elena, and Jeremy, because do we get a certificate with Jeremy's name? That's okay, he's not on here. I want all three of you to come up here. I already set up Derek. Where did he go? Because he's supposed to take our picture.
I'm here.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, he's already set up. So come on up here, Jim, Elena, and Jeremy, their son. My family, I have to honor you guys. And then I have a short story, and then we're gonna say that this is the end of the program. There is a couple Oh, you guys taking pictures together too? I'm going to acknowledge them, and then I want my speakers to come up. You got like 2 minutes to say something. But James and Carissa Harris, they're the other part of my dream team. I have a YouTube channel now, and it started with a little portable camera that we were taking, and next thing you know, I have a studio. Well, it looks like I have a studio because I borrowed some stuff out of this room where I was, and now it does look like a studio, because that's what we do, we improvise. Well, it's my YouTube channel, and they produce the show. So not only do I have the DreamSteerers Academy, I have my consulting business, now I have my Creative Consulting Dreams Inspirational Talk Show, which I started in Ohio in 2011, and I was actually on PBS with 12 actual episodes on TV. So when I came here, I'm like, well, what am I gonna do now? Well, who can't make a show on YouTube now? It's like, okay, put it on YouTube. And that's exactly what I've done. And I have about 15 episodes on Creative Consulting Dreams Inspirational Talk Show that are now being aired as well. So it's just amazing. Carissa has a very rare disease that if she does not take a certain medication, actually every day she could lose her life. And it's amazing that they show up each time I had to produce the show, and they did it. And today it's breaking my heart because they could not be here, because they would be here as well, helping with the show, setting up. Carissa would have been at the table, welcoming everybody in. And they just do what they do, and it's just incredible because the condition that she has right now with fibromyalgia, some other things that she has, is just has her bedridden right now. And James is the utmost husband I've ever seen in my life. That is just there for her. So I miss them, but I wanted to acknowledge them as part of this services. When you guys see this, here's your certificate. Please give them a hand. How much more time we have? We're out? We just have to wait.
They
2
are
seconds.
the best.
They are the best.
They are. Carissa and James, without them, there would not be many
Without them, you're right. It
shows
wouldn't be.
for
They are.
Dr. Brenda Combs and
You
for
want to come up and come on? Okay, when she starts talking, I have to let her talk. So thank them, and thank you, them.
Congratulations to all the graduates. I am just overwhelmed. Because I come from the classroom, by the way. I was a teacher. Jeremy was a teacher too.
Yeah.
He taught at Saguaro High School. But thank you so much, Ms. Beverly Brown. You are our family, my sister. You have been helping us for all these years through a lot of challenging times. She not only teaches DreamSteerers Academy, her friends become her family. And she guides and she advises. And she's just a beautiful spirit, and I love you. Whew. Back to Christine James. They deserve this recognition. Thank you. And we all are here receive on their behalf. May she be healthy with her family, and you too. Oh, sure, we'll accept it. I'll put mine down.
So we're going to give this to them first. Because you were 2 speakers that blessed my class, so come on up, Alicia. Yes.
Words. First, I have to give a thank you to Miss Beatrice. I mean, she really hit it, and I hope that everyone absorbed what she said. And I thank you so much, Bev, for being a great friend, a great speaker. And I think what's important is, if I could say anything to everyone, please just be who you are and be yourself. And if there's anything inside of you that's hurting your heart, because that's where it all comes from, whether your childhood, something someone says, something you do, your experience, let that all go. Forgive yourself and forgive everyone around you, and it's never too late. to begin. You may like that other life better. And God bless you, and I pray for you. A little bit of my history, I've modeled my whole life. I've been on covers, everything, and I was raised with low self-esteem, and I've sought help for a long time. And I noticed in this industry, 98.9% of all these people you see that's in the industry has low self-esteem. So when I retired 20-something years ago, I decided to give back and teach classes to everyone out there, nationally, internationally, teaching them how to have self-esteem, self-confidence, specifically in the industry. And I've made a name for myself, and I've been in business since '97. And I just help people, and the people that I see grow and decide to live their life and not give up, and not to always be on stage, but to be themselves when they walk out the room. And I just want to tell all of you, everybody, you're here and you're so special, so unique, so giving, and don't ever, ever forget it or let anyone take that away from you. Thank you.
Awesome. It's hard to follow that. I was never a supermodel or anything like that, or a famous photographer or video photographer or a teacher like some in the room, but I do know some cool people. Yeah. So the reason I like working with Beverly, right, is because she actually walks the walk, right? So her speech is follow your dreams no matter what the circumstances are, right? So I'm part of her behind the veil team. No matter how scary the road looks, she just tightens her boots up. She's like, hey, Derek, this is gonna be a little bit nervous or this and that, but you know how we do it. Pray to God, we're gonna get through it. I say, you know what, baby, I like that spirit. I can hang out with you. And that's what she fosters into the people that she works with. And she will take you from the cradle to the grave. That's what she does. And she will be a battle buddy for you in her class. And all her friends know this, right? So she's infectious with the love she does and the support she gives other people. And I'm glad to know her. And I'm glad she inspires people to go out and help others, because that's what the world needs. So we appreciate you, BB. Can we have a group hug while we up here? Yeah. That's my time.
All right, and we can
go out together. Have
picture.
Give me a minute.
Come on. Foot paparazzi.
Not yet.
Oh, no.
Okay, now relax, big smile. Eyes open over here.
All right, we're at the end, guys. So really quick story, and we're going to end this off. And Ms. Denise, I want you to close us out in prayer. I am just going to acknowledge my beautiful daughter for being here today. She
Beautiful
worked
daughter!
hard, and she came out to help me decorate. And I do want to acknowledge Miss Judy for being here. We go to the same church. She is on the production team. I do the camera. She tells me what to do at church. And I love you for it, Judy. Thank you so much for coming here and representing Mountain View. We're like sisters as well as far as at church. Thank you so much for being here. And a really quick story, and then I'm really gonna let you guys go, for real. So like 2 days ago, I went to LaDonya's event, and this is a quick story just to show you how when you put something in the atmosphere, please listen to this. Because I put it out there and says, oh, I'm gonna do a Zoom live, and I'm gonna have it here, and I didn't have a clue how it was gonna get done. But that was the faith ignited in me, and God gave me the vision. He said, go with it. So 2 days ago, I'm still like, I don't know how I'm gonna Zoom this in. James and Carissa, technical crew, my production crew, said they couldn't come. I'm like, I don't know what it is. Of course, I called DW, who's my backup, and he just, he's so incredible what he does for people, and he shows up and he does what he does. So I'm at this event, and this beautiful young lady, we're at a formal event on Friday night, and she comes and she sits next to me, and she's a niece of another lady that I know. And she's sitting there, I mean, looking so elegant. I'm like, wow, she looks really beautiful. Plus, she had a great personality. We didn't say much that night. And the next day we had the event. It was an all-day event. So she walks in, she's prancing, I'm looking at her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's such a beautiful person, has such a wonderful aura about herself. And every time I would look up, it was like she was in the corner of my eye. I'm like, God, why am I looking at her? Why? What's going on with it? What it is? So we're at the end of the event. We kind of like intersected each other, and she asked me something, and then I asked her what she did. And she said so many things, and then she said, oh yeah, and then I do video, and I do this. And I'm like, what? Can you show up for my graduation tomorrow? Because I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea what it was. And this is to show you that if you put a dream out there, God will connect you to the person that's sitting right next to you. You don't know how it's going to happen. I asked her, I'm like, how am I going to ask this lady that I barely even know to come and do something for me tomorrow that I don't even know if she can do it because I know I can't do it. But he said, do it. And she was obedient. She looked at me. It was like, what you trying to do? I don't know. I just need you to show up. And she did. So I want you to come up here, Tara. I have to recognize you because this is just how you have to know. You don't have to have all your ducks in a row. Please don't stop doing what you need to do because you don't know how to do it. They came here with all of this equipment and I just learned like, what? And when she showed me that the Zoom could work and Derek put it on the wall, I went into tears and I just cried. I'm like, oh my God, I never knew this was even going to work. But it's about doing that, stepping out. And God will put the person sitting right next to you for you to find out. And then intersect with you the next day. So Tara, you're going to have a certificate, whatever you need, girl. Because you showed up here today and we just met. You've done such a beautiful job. You've done it graciously. If you can get along with Derek and get this together, because that's what they did. They pulled it all together, and then bringing it all together with that is just amazing. Please know that, dreamers, that you don't have to have all your ducks in a row. God will definitely provide the vision. So thank you, Tara.
Wow, I had no expectation of this, but as she said, this was about obedience. So it was a really divine way that we met, as she expressed. I felt it was something special about Beverly as well. But I had no idea that this is what I was getting myself into. But it is a true pleasure because she even challenged me to learn what skills I had myself too, and I've gotten a lot of experience just on this event. And I've also witnessed such a beautiful event. I've seen people graduate and literally put their hard effort into doing something that they believe in. So it's a blessing to be able to have help with this, but it's also a blessing to be able to have witnessed what Beverly's doing, what the DreamSteerers are doing. So it's a pleasure to meet you guys, and thanks. And as it all worked together. It wasn't, I showed up, Derek showed up. The production, this is the real production crew right here. They showed up, so it wouldn't have been able to be done without everyone working together. So.
All right, she's beautiful, she's humble, and she's just a wonderful, I mean, what more can you ask for? I am looking for a virtual assistant because you know I forget everything too. Thank you so much, Sarah. Oh, picture. Okay, guys, I'm going to let Ms. Denise Dillard close us out. I want to thank everyone that showed up. This room was full of wonderful spirits. For even the seats that are empty, I felt the connection. I feel it through my Zoom people. And that's where I want to address, let me call them by name. Guys, I'm working with one contact. I thought it was working. Ghazi. Oh, I didn't acknowledge this, and this is seriously, I'm finished. On the back, I had to actually get sponsors to help finance the DreamSteerers Academy because I'm finding out that's something that I have to work on. People have dreams, but sometimes they just don't have the finances, and it breaks my heart that they can't do it. So Eliza Marie is from my hometown, so thank God for her. And yes, also Ms. Victoria Rodney's on the back. She came to one of my DreamSteerers Academy classes, and she fell in love with the vision after attending one of the classes with a speaker. And she just said, Beverly, whatever it is, I'm sponsoring one of your students. And she did that. Actually, they sponsored 2. So they're my elite sponsors. And Mr. Burnell Moller, I've known him all my life. He's from my hometown. He sees what I'm doing, and he says, Beverly, I'm gonna sponsor your person. Nancy Puzzi, she's from here, from the Phoenix, Arizona area. She's a beautiful friend of mine. Nancy Gans-Gillard, we've just been in a wonderful, friendly relationship, and she says she will sponsor a Zoom, so thank you for that. Ghazi, Muhammad, and his wife Cheyenne, are you guys on there? Are they still there? Ghazi. Okay, I promise this will be it. I'll let Ghazi speak because he's a phenomenal person. Ghazi, thank you so much for zooming in. Believe it or not, they used to live here in Phoenix, and now they have gone to Atlanta and opened up a ranch in honor of their stillborn daughter about 2 years ago that they have, and they're just doing phenomenal things. Is there any way you can get Mr. Ghazi up, and then we'll close the evening out for real, for real? Ghazi and Cheyenne Muhammad also became a sponsor. They wanted to make sure that Chandrika was taken care of. They are doing phenomenal things, and when I tell you that they just moved away, I actually met them on the highway because they had a second baby after they had lost the first one, and I had to meet them on the highway before they left town so that I could tell them goodbye and meet the baby before they left. And ever since they left, they've opened up a ranch in the baby's name, and they're doing all sorts of events, and it's just amazing. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get Ghazi. Okay, Ghazi. All right, I'll give you the chance.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can y'all see us?
Can you hear me, Ms. Brown?
She can hear you. We're trying to put you on the wall so that they can see you. Okay, there he is. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting this, Ms. Brown.
I know.
But, you know, we've been listening to it, and, you know, what came to my mind as I was listening to you talk and listening to all the graduates was Langston Hughes' poem, A Dream Deferred. And I was thinking about dreaming and what happens when you have a dream, when you have a goal, you have a vision, but that dream is deferred because of pain and setback and disappointment, frustration and trauma. And Langston Hughes asked the question, you know, what happened to a dream deferred? You know, does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Does it fester like a sore and then run? It's a very beautiful poem. And as I thought about all the graduates, and I thought about our own personal journey and where we are now, and God is just really blessing us here on the ranch. I mean, just phenomenally. We've had over 1,000 visitors in the last 6 months, and a lot of things has happened because we had a dream, we had an idea and a vision that we never gave up on. So for all of the dreamsters out there, you know, your dream will be challenged. Your dream, you know, when you have a determined idea, science say for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you have an idea and a dream, it's going to be something naturally that come against you to resist, to make sure that you want to bring that dream into reality, to test your stamina, to test your consistency, your persistency, to see how much you really want this to happen. So when it comes, just keep on keeping on. Don't ever give up. Don't ever quit. Don't give up, give out, give in. Just keep on pushing on. And I'm telling you, God will bless you in the end. And we really enjoying the fruits of our labor right now. We thank you, Beverly Brown, for the work that you do in the community. Thank you for the Dreams Academy. And on behalf of Stan and I and Sunset Ranch, we want to congratulate all the graduates of this year's class. Thank you.
Sandy Malone, she spoke. Oh, that's your picture I'm looking at. And there was one other lady that Sandy invited. So thank you so much for coming in on Zoom, those that were present. Thank you guys for being here. I am going to shut up right now, and I'm going to allow Ms. DreamSteerers to please close us out in prayer, and thank you for accepting this challenge.
Let's give Beverly another hand. What an awesome event. An amazing job that you did. It is so amazing when you can leave and your heart feels so good. Congratulations, graduates. It was an awesome time to be here. Father, we just come to you today for the continuous strength, the continuous recognition. Lord, we just thank you for wisdom. We thank you the heart to never quit. And Lord, we just want to thank you for giving us the strength, Lord, that you are sending people that's critical for our success. In Jesus' mighty name, that this organization, these classes will double like we've never seen it before. In Jesus' name, amen.